Good morning, friends. Pastor Chuck Blair. Great to have you joining me this morning here as part of New Church Live's 10 Minutes of Morning Calm. And my apologies for getting on a little late there. We had a few little computer issues with getting online and getting batteries charged and such things. So anyhow, thank you for joining me, and I appreciate your patience. So today is an interesting one to take a look at. And we've been looking at this story of Abram and looking at this story about how things sort of come to life in our lives. And today, what we're looking at is the importance of the end in view, and this is one that has just been brought home to me more and more over the past few months. That end, our goal, is so important, and that sounds trite. That sounds really really trite, but it's not. It's actually huge. I know one of the things I have a lot of anxiety around over the years has been this thing or that thing or retirement plans or finances, probably like a lot of you. And a lot of that comes down to what's the end goal? What's the purpose? And I can get all spun out kind of at these lower levels. But then when I go up to the upper levels, and it adds a clarity to all of that. And it's not that it makes everything okay, but it adds clarity the whole way down the chain. It's very similar to what we talked about a couple of weeks ago, which is I think a very profound new church concept, which is that we have our emotional center of our lives, our rational center of our lives, and our spiritual center of our lives. If I was seeing it as a diagram, most of us sort of live largely making decisions at an emotional level. Maybe a few of us can do a little better with the rational, but spiritual tends to not necessarily be part of our decision making process, or I should say I tend to like put that aside, frankly, a lot of the time in ways that I shouldn't. And the reality is those three things need to align. That's what life is about. How do we get the emotional center, the rational center, the spiritual center all aligned? And we do that. Yesterday we talked about curiosity and questions that will help us to do that. And today I want to talk about how significant that end in view is. Like, what is our point? And our point always has to be towards service. So let me read you this line. I just thought this was really beautiful. All right, let me pull this. Oh, sorry, flipped the page there. The only object in us on which the inflowing life force, and that's life from God, be a way to see that, acts is the end we have in view, because whatever we love is our individual goal, and love is the only thing that has life. Any other possible object merely branch off that goal and draw their life from it. So it's this beautiful idea that we hold this end in view, and that end in view is where the better angels of our nature, and that's really key. It is our love, our unique love, but it's unique love that is service oriented, that is outward looking, that it's out there to help other people. And that's where, folks, is essentially, like this morning when I was thinking about this, I thought, yeah, that's why love is all that matters. When we put love at that top, and love expressed through service and generosity and kindness, walking the dog, fill in the blank there, right? When we put it up there, when we remember, oh yeah, love is what matters, all this like kerfuffle down here, it all of a sudden gets straightened out. It doesn't get straightened out and then it gets solved. It gets straightened out and then it gets put in perspective. It gets put in its right place, and it becomes just one problem to solve. But the problem is not the end in itself. The problem is just a problem. That's it. It's our love that is the end in itself. And then what we can do is then we can live lives. This is a very sweet, important phrase. We can live lives of usefulness, because it becomes about being useful. Like, what is useful here? What is helpful here might be another way to say that. And when we do that, it just shifts. Folks, just think about your level of anxiety that you're holding today. Imagine we all have something, right? Take a breath. Now just take it to another level. Not the anxiety. Leave the anxiety here. Sort of get a bird's eye view of it, and really start to think, okay, I'm going to start to think from usefulness. I'm going to start to think from love. I'm going to try to think of how can I serve here? What's this environment? What can I do? And just notice how it starts to shift this anxiety. That stuff is still there. The problems are still there. This is not a problem solving strategy. This is a problem holding strategy. It's more like, what's the framework versus what's the answer? And if we change the framework, I think that's what really matters. Will we get new answers out of the framework? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But I do feel that that's where, again, the anxiety will start to ebb, or will alleviate it, because we're coming from usefulness. We're coming from how do we serve in this situation, not from how do we make the fastest buck or whatever, fill in the blank. So that's a thought for today, folks. So be really clear, in terms of what's your end in view, and again, marrying that a little bit with yesterday's service. How does that connect to curiosity? Like, what are the questions that start to help, refine that, put edges onto that? And it's just interesting. Yeah, the questions are super, super important. So, friends, I hope that makes sense. And I wish you a day of just taking a breath and being able to see what the ends are and allow those to sort of guide your decisions through the day. So, with that, dear friends, what we're going to do now is we're going to come to a little point of stillness here. And what we do at this point of stillness is we take a breath. And when we take a breath, we go through, we do a little meditation, a little prayer, and we'll do a little blessing, and we'll say hi to folks on social media. I know we're starting late, so we probably don't have anybody joining us live, but that's quite all right. You can leave comments throughout the day, and we will respond in kind. So, friends, let's all do this. Let's all get started with a little breath and a little listening to the prayer bell. So let's all take a breath together. And the prayer bell. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and know. Be still and. Be still. Be. Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, as in heaven, so upon the earth. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we also forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon you, bring you peace, and bring you home. All right, dear friends. I hope that makes a lot of sense to you today and is helpful. Let me take a quick. Oh, here I got a note from Marcus. I'm not going to bother with live comments because Facebook didn't stream, so he's going to send it on to Facebook. So, anyhow, folks, God bless. Have a beautiful day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.